Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 13, Week 2, Day 1. So today, of course, it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. If you haven't claimed it already, we do have our little bit of Valentine's Day gift over there. Mostly just 50 gems with a little bit of knick-knack trait stones. But definitely make sure to claim that if you haven't already. As a nice little handful of loot. We also seem to have some on adventure board this day with a nice Imperial. Good handful of deeds between the two of them. Very nice. Of course, main event we have going on right now is Wild Court, which is a red green restriction, not mistaken. Yep. So we can basically just run through with Rowain. We can run Truffle the entire way through. We have access to Marilith, Angry Mob, stuff like that. A couple good empowers in there. Or mostly just going to be using Rowain Quick Kill for the entirety of it. And that should be all we really need. And aside from that, patch? I did not actually check. I highly doubt it has hit. I didn't see a thingy. But patch? Probably not today. My guess was next week's Tuesday, though there's a small chance it's today. Honestly, any Tuesday for the next upcoming however long it could end up being. Last year around this time, the patch hit on, well, quite a bit later, but bad example, March 9th. Gee, it hasn't even been a whole year yet since the Horde Mimics. Though anyone who hasn't gotten that yet, we're reaching the 1 year mark soon. March 9th is the 1 year mark of the Horde Mimic, as well as, this is Mimics just existing in Explore. But yep, another month to go. But yeah, that was around the time of last year's update around this time. But we also got one in January, which kind of offset it some. This one's likely mid, because our last one now was back in December. So good chance mid-February due to that. Which is probably next week's Tuesday or the following Tuesday. Somewhere's around there. Anyways. So it looks like no patch notes yet. So probably not today. No update coming through. Did you get your free love balls? Oh, wait. In Pokemon? Oh. I need to go claim that. Is there a redeem code for it? Could you send me on Discord? Because I haven't logged in since the last time we streamed. But if it's one of those code things, definitely send it to me. Because I love using those. All those special balls. Anyways. Because I assume that's the game you're referring to. Anyways, let's go start with the faction. So we'll just grab one of our teams we mentioned in the video. Go with our good old Rowain build. Can't go wrong with Rowain. It's usable. It's almost always the way to go. We do want to set to pure armor if we're going to be doing this, though. And I do not have one set because I still have the Guild War ones over there. So go for that. Clear that out. Go to here. Go to faction. Go to fight. And be good to go. Paste in our team, and that should be it. You can run our Skier Shield if you want to run it all the way through, but we'll go with this, and it should be perfectly fine. Anyways, let's go through all the hellos. Hello, Roman. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Kinky. Hello, Jason. Hello, Lester. Hello, David. Hello, Roman. Hello, Emanator. Hello, Jonian. Hello, Logic Slayer. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Dwight. Hello, everyone else. Hello, Anthony. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let me go move this over, and let's start killing everything. Hello, Maximus. Welcome, welcome. This faction's pretty straightforward. Basically, go to bottom, then just finish out the area. There's like a whole little tail area down there. That was the code for the thing. I'll go claim it later. Hopefully, it's still good by then. Because it might end it right after Valentine's Day. You finally cracked 10,000 gems? Nice. Yeah, I need to see if Gems of War devs can give us some special ones for the holidays. I feel like only ever so occasionally we get one for Christmas. But we need to get some for the other holidays. I guess the next biggest one's probably Easter. So technically St. Patrick's Day, and I think one other thing comes before then. I didn't really do anything special for the holiday today. No, if nothing else, it's a good time to pick up cheap candy. Because, gosh, every single place is stocked with, all the candy you could probably ever imagine. Mostly chocolate stuff, though. End up picking up those chocolate cherries. Also, you know what I really got back into recently? Jelly Belly jelly beans. Got, a whole sack of them. If there is any candy left. The shelves are pretty stacked. And it gets even cheaper soon when they're just trying to get rid of all the stock. But the prices weren't bad, so I figured just get some now. I saw it while I was out. I was like, ah, might as well. Though I did forget to pick up the EpiPen. But I'm not in like a dire need for it. Well, sometimes I'll be in a dire need for it, quite literally. Because that's what it's for. However, I mean in the sense I still have some, so it's not going to matter if I get it immediately. Also just need an updated one that isn't expired. Because they still work a couple years after expiration. It's just generally, for max effectiveness, you're supposed to replace them every year. Which I do try to do most years. Just not an immediate need. Oh, did you finally get Centurion? Nice. Yeah, Centurion's really good in Skull Spam teams. I personally don't use it too much as I'm not a fan of the playstyle. But it's really, really good with Zolgoth. And a few other Skull Spammers. Like Keeper of Souls and stuff like that can work decently with. Pretty much any kind of like Centurion Skull Spammer combo works out great. As you just cast your Skull Spam, you get all the mana accumulation you're ever going to need, and just kind of go from there. It's particularly good with Skull Spammers that are capable of extra turning. Because if you already have your Skull Spammer at full mana, and the other thing at full mana, you can simply just go and cast your Skulls, get an extra turn Skull, and then convert them all for mana, and then just kind of go crazy from there, which is generally how it's used. It's definitely the biggest pickup in the event key drop table this week. Most everything else I would say is pretty skippable. I mentioned in the video too, but it's mostly skippable week, mostly just with Centurion. And the only mythic really that desirable is Roadbreaker, but it's not desirable enough to go out of the way for it. Actually, just looking for like a mythic from the kingdom and just hope you get it. Tomorrow's a national half off on Chocolate Day. Very true. I don't know, the shelves near me are still pretty stocked. I only ended up picking up one, but I'm definitely going to pick up more later just to stock up for later. I almost always do that for those candy chocolates. Because I'll get like some on the holiday itself. And then after the fact, I'll like mass buy whatever they have on sale. Because they almost always have spares. And quite a bit of it this year. Like some of the aisles barely look touched. Is the mythic worth it? Which mythic? Thinking about... oh, with only 200 event keys, I'd probably pass. Nothing is particularly enticing in this drop table this week. Definitely pretty skippable if that's how much you have. Kafka, I can confirm now that the next Vault event will be March 3rd. Yeah, I saw that earlier. Not the exact post, but something mentioning that date. Yeah, March 3rd is exactly what she said initially, too. 3 weeks after the fact. Which is 3 weeks from last weekend. So yeah, that checks out. That is exactly the interval we were kind of expecting based on what she said earlier. Because she said it would be about 3 weeks, which means the other one's probably going to be 3 weeks. So we can already kind of assume that... well, one of them we already know for sure. But we can kind of assume the other one after that is on March... March 24th. Most likely. That one's not confirmed. But it's likely a March 3rd, March 24th kind of situation. Or it's like a 3 week kind of thing. You should mention in another post it could be like 2 to 3 weeks and then like another 3 weeks probably. So it might just be a 3 and 3. Oh, we know when our next one is. Just gotta clear the schedule. Luckily I have nothing planned. At least not for that day anyways. Not that weekend. Do I think they're gonna move the Kingdom Pass? Aren't we still supposed to get the new Kingdom next Monday? I don't think that's gonna move. I think they're just gonna do it during the event. Because we're supposed to have like a Journey event next week. We're supposed to have a new Kingdom next week. That likely means a new Kingdom Pass. A bunch of other stuff. But from what I can tell, that's still happening next week. I haven't seen anything against it. And it shouldn't need an update either, because everything for this upcoming Kingdom was already updated in the previous update back in December. Theoretically, they could have released that at almost any point. People need to stop complaining. I think the biggest change that's ever happened in this game that I'm not a fan of from people complaining is when you do the world event, there is a warning that tells you you're using the wrong metals, but they changed it so it only warns you once. So if you mash through that screen, you just never get to quick set it again until the following day. Before, it would like warn you every single time, which was slightly annoying for people who weren't running metals. But that is such an extremely rare circumstance that you'd be running a world event without running the buff metal. But now it no longer warns you, so you can't take the quick screen to get there. Of course, there's a solution to that. Just make it easier to equip metals, so you don't have to use the quick menu to end up doing it. But now the quick menu only shows up the very first time per day, rather than every single time you click. So you can't just like do world event, go do something else, then do world event you again. You have to specifically do all your world event at one time, otherwise the warning menu won't come back up. Only will the first time. And it's quicker to set your metals through the warning menu than it is to set them manually through the main menu. So it basically makes world events slower now. At least for most people. Unless you're running the event with no metals. Which is a very rare circumstance. And by no metals, I mean none of the special metals. Those 160 buff metals. Hey, I wonder what new bugs they'll add next patch. What bug features we're gonna get. It should not be selectable and just auto-equip. Yeah, that actually would be cool if you didn't even need to like equip them and they just like automatically did their thing. I really wish they would add more metals. It seemed like something they were gonna do and then it never happens. A world event Iron Man mode with no metals. That's funny. Yeah, we've been doing Iron Man mode in RuneScape recently. It's actually pretty fun. It's fun having to do everything from scratch. Obviously, in most games, you already do that. But it's rare in an MMO that you would end up doing something like that. Without trading or anything. Is that a loud clip? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully it'll fix the mobile problems. Have there been mobile problems recently? I don't actually play Gems of War pretty much ever on phone. The only exception being when I take Tribute occasionally. But aside from that, I always play it on PC. So any mobile bugs I'm not too aware of. Maybe they'll accidentally unnerf Nomapalooza rewards. I highly doubt that. But that would be funny. Nomapalooza still pay out so much, though. Like, we didn't even reach last weekend's goal, and we still made a killing. We got, like, 700 keys by the end, and a bunch of other loot along the way. A bunch of Dragonite. The Dragonite rate is pretty much where I kind of thought it would be. It wasn't, like, exceptionally high, but, you know, it wasn't bad. Because we ultimately got, like, what, 600 Dragonite? Technically slightly more than that, but I'm trying to exclude the ones we got from, you know, actually buying it with gems. But during that time, we got, like, 600 or so. It was around 30 per hour. Roughly, give or take a little. Whenever we missed the gnomes, it was a bit less than that, but it was averaging roughly 30 an hour. Which on top of all the other loots, not that bad. Like, if that was the only loot you were getting, that'd be horrible. But on top of the billion other loots, that's a pretty decent amount. At least compared to getting 0 per day. Or having to spend 60 or 300 gems just to get 60. Because that really kills through our gem stack. I can't wait till we finally have Diamantia so we can stop wasting gems every single day. So our gem stack can actually recover to a nice big number. Though they're probably going to add another gem sink soon, of course. Though oddly enough, the February-March patch doesn't tend to be a gem sync a lot of times. Not to say that it won't be. But the thing that's generally the gem sync gets added in summer. Either summer or like November-ish time. Normally when the gem syncs it. Yeah, that's when the Gem Dragons came in too last year. Around that like October, November-ish? Somewhere around there. Summer is also the other big time for it normally. I feel like the summer has gotten the most like ultra big overhauls for things. Do we even know on the roadmap what is up at that point? I can't remember what the June one was. Normally it's the August patch though. Like the late July, early August patch. What happened to Isabel? I'm not sure where she is. Might just be sleeping. Or sick. Or just not here right now. Oh, she is sick. Oh no! I need to say hi to her on Discord then. Which I barely ever do, but we need to go on to it. Speaking of which, has anyone sent me messages recently? I should probably check. This is why we don't run a social media anymore. I check social interaction like maybe once a week. Let's see. Loading, loading, loading. Loading, loading. Oh, Spectrin actually messaged me. Yep, about the love ball thing. Oh, he did it actually at the beginning of the stream. Thank you for that. Cool. Oh, 2 of them? Ooh. Oh, that's cool. Up until March 14th. Oh, you could probably do that per account as well. Ooh, I need to get that on my other account too. That one's really annoying to get in the current state of the game as well. Because unlike, there's actually 2 balls in that game that only fall in one way. Every other ball has like 2 methods. So I'll definitely need to go claim that later. Yep. Let's see. So I'm not sure why. It might be a bug with Windows 10. But sometimes my screen just goes like almost completely black for like half a second. I assume it's maybe my graphics card or just an issue with Windows 10. But ever so occasionally when I'm like moving tabs, just everything just very briefly goes black. Yeah, there it goes again. It's so weird. You're getting like 8 of them? Oh gosh, you're claiming on that many. I guess I could claim it on all those Spanish accounts that I got all the dittos on earlier. Which I did all that effort for that for a couple hours, and now it's not even going to matter because as soon as Pokemon Home comes out in like a month or 2, I can just grab all the dittos from there. Oh yeah, it could be the drivers too. I feel like I like almost never update my drivers. Last time I did that was like several months ago when we were having some technical issues, and I was like, oh, let me just update literally every driver. I feel like most of the times I do, there's like no drivers to update though. Or maybe just like one out of the many in the stack. Because you're grabbing them for all your kids, it's funny. Yeah, they're really good for pink shinies. We'll be doing Old School RuneScape tomorrow as well. It's kind of becoming a Wednesday thing now. How long the series is going to go on for, I have no clue. But, I don't know, I'm still having fun with it. I have so much nostalgia for that game, too. I'm pretty sure that's why, like, 80% of people who still play it. Just for the nostalgia of the game. It's like the candy tax at Halloween. Oh gosh. Stealing candy from your kids. RuneScape on Saturday too because of no Vault event. We might do it this weekend, true. Yeah, we might. Because most of the games I want to play this year are all coming like later this year. I think the earliest one that I'm aware of, which is a game I want to play this year, is the entirety of the Mega Man series, Battle Network series. And it's not releasing until April. So there aren't really any games in the next 2 months that are on my radar right now that I want to play. Unless we're going to go into our backlog, which is very long, so maybe I should somewhat go into that backlog. But otherwise, yeah, it's mostly just going to be RuneScape then. As far as side games. I'll probably throw a few in there, here and there, especially if we can find like some good short ones in there. The problem is most of my backlog are really long games. It's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten around to them. Because the average length of a game I want to play that's on like the backlog of games I haven't played are almost all like 30 to 50 plus hours each. Like enough time that you can't even kill them out in a weekend. Like we're talking like a week-long endeavor. Do you have to beat the whole delve of the faction team or just the last level? Oh, you just have to beat the last level. Like you can literally go all the way to 500, then pull out the faction team and win, and it counts as if it counts as a 500. Like you don't have to do all the individual rooms. You can simply just do it all the way at the end and get the full value from it. Which we'll have a new faction to do that for, hopefully in a few weeks. Unless the date has changed. We do actually know, I believe, when the next faction event is. Unless it's not updated until next patch. But there should be a Friday faction somewhere in here. Yep, March 10th. Unless it changes the week after the Vault event weekend, we have a new faction. The Court of Foxes, the one being added for the gosh, what's it called? What's that one typing? I'm trying to say they're typing. The Wargear. That one Wargear type kingdom. It's getting its new faction, at least currently, supposedly, on the 10th. So we have that weekend. And that'll be the next faction added to the game. Whenever I go into that browser, it's like defaulted into light mode. Whenever I'm using my normal browser, like literally everything's in dark mode. So it always throws me off when I just look at a screen of light whenever I go into that. I don't think there's any way that we could change it in the default Steam browser. Mostly because it's a really bad browser, mostly just there to exist. Well, it's kind of handy because it immediately shows up on screen. So if I want to show something that I'm immediately looking at, it's just quicker to show it that way than to try doing it through a different capture. If anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Also, as soon as we finish out this faction, we'll go hand out a redeem code. Clear out the rest of the daily, clear out World Event, and hey, do something we haven't done for a while. Do some Explore 12. Especially now that we're coming up to the 1-year mark of those mimics existing. So we've already done everything we need to do in that regard, other than, you know, just get more medals. You can never have enough of them. Hey, level 10 chests. I don't think this place is good enough ratio for us to be done here, unfortunately. Oh no, we are! Nice! Okay, that's not too bad. Let's see what we got for our loot. Hey, a useless orb of forging. Let's go update our number. Where's my orb number these days? Oh no, where is my orb number? Hold up. I didn't delete it, right? Where is it? Where is it? Wait, where on earth is my orb number? Like, I'm going crazy. Where on earth is my... Oh, there it is. Aha. There we go. Anyways, we got another forging. I mean ingot, I mean. There we go, 101. Anyways, let's go ahead and add a redeem code. And just go with some standard magic. Let's go clear out Adventure Board. Adventure Board is really good today, too. You know what, we'll just claim out everything. Where's good old Phoenicia? Alright, let me go get the code. Good old redeem code. Also, we're still using some from our previous batch. We got a lot of codes we can hand out. But there you go. There's a redeem code used on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code will be found in your settings menu. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste random numbers and letters. Hey, Jason, thank you for posting the link. Normally Isabel does that. Got her covered. It starts with PP. Yeah, forges are pretty useless. Honestly, for a newer player, I feel like they become more useless than the Tradestone ones. Because I feel like it takes a longer amount of time in the current state of the game, unless you don't play Underworld that much. But assuming you do daily Underworld, I think it takes a longer amount of time to trait every troop in the game than it does to max out every weapon. I'm not actually 100% on that, but I'm pretty sure it does. Meaning forging's even worse than how worse it already is. Because even for, like, newer players, like, yes, it does help them out. But with the addition of it, the weapons are going to get maxed even quicker. Which means it's going to become a dead currency even quicker. More so than the ingot system that already exists. I'll catch you later, Jay. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, hello, Will. Hello, Janice. Question. Can someone explain the extra vault becomes extra arena? Wait, what? Question. Can someone explain how extra vaults becomes an extra arena? Oh, no. We have a, we should be having 2 more vault events. One is on March 3rd, and the other one's probably 3 weeks after that. So we did indeed get an extra vault event, technically. But yeah, we do have an arena event this weekend. But, no, next vault event's on March 3rd, and the one after that's probably 3 weeks after, which I believe is March 24th. Well, duh, that's 3 weeks after that. But yes, if it is 3 weeks after that, will be. The only one that's confirmed is March 3rd, though. We don't have 100% confirmation on the vault event after next vault event. Though March 3rd is 100% confirmed for the next one. Which is only, what, 2 weeks from now? 3 weeks from now. Hey, how many days are in this month? It's, oh yeah, 28. I always forget about that. Isn't this month always 28 days? I always get so confused with that. I know there's, like, some kind of method to, like, easily identify them. I never bothered learning it when I was young, so... I always forget how many days each month has. Plus, you gotta worry about leap years, so I'm pretty sure this is not a leap year. Actually, when is the next leap year? Next leap. Next leap year. 2024. Okay, it is next year. I was gonna say, it should be pretty soon. I don't recall when the last one occurred. So yeah, next year is the next leap year, not this year. Soon, TM. But, yeah, next year is here. We'll have the leap year. That one extra day. Why is the board being so bad? It's such an easy win. Just let us have the win. There we go. Oh, he actually lived that? Interesting. Well, he won't live that. Mythic tier list soon. Still soon. I hope they get that out, actually, I might be able to get out this weekend. There's actually a good chance I can get out this weekend. I'm doing it a bit differently than the differently I initially wanted to. But ultimately, I want to simplify it a little bit. Hey, top 3! Oh! You know what? We should hand out an extra code. But I want to simplify it a little bit. Both viewing-wise and creating it wise. For sanity's sake. So I do hope to cover it this weekend and simplify it a bit more compared to before. I feel like the format I was trying to do with it just made it more convoluted and didn't even make it easier to understand. So I'm almost like just completely scrapping it and going with the plan C. But it should be up soon. Ideally this weekend. I haven't really been covering as many guide videos lately. Oh, I almost just clicked it. I know I will eventually do that on accident. I almost just mash-clicked. I gotta be really careful on this next one. I almost just mash-clicked straight into clicking one of the other rooms. Which would have been horrible, because then we don't get the extra Dragonite. Yeah, let's go ahead and add an extra code. I'll do it as soon as we finish these out. Not every day we get the perfect top 3. Okay, we'll take the green. We'll get a destroy everything. We'll take destroy everything again. Get our mana. Do that. Burn. Dead. There we go. Okay, now be very careful not to mash. Just click once. There we go. Fight. We've successfully not mashed. The New Kingdom's not getting its new mythic until, I'm pretty sure, March 3rd. Actually, same day as the Vault weekends. $120 Dragonite. Gotta love it. To that pile, we shall add an extra little bit. And there we go. Stay. And I'm not sure why I'm hitting these traps. Wow, we actually did a perfect 4. We theoretically perfect 4'd if we would have just left it there. We would have gone all 3 top row and then still hit the thing first. So it wasn't a good effect. Anyways, there we go. Let's go ahead and add an extra code. It's not every day we get perfect top 3. Gotta love it. It's eventually going to happen. If we keep clicking top 3, it is eventually going to be top 3. That's how it works. There you guys go. Enjoy. Anyways, let's go and I guess we'll finish out World Event. We're not finished, but you know. Also, don't forget, Valentine's Day pet for next year, I mean this year, is available in 5 hours and 30 minutes from now. And it'll be available all of tomorrow. So definitely make sure to claim that. Alright, mail is just a redeem code. Oh, also thank you whoever just claimed it for us. Okay, let's go and run the World Event down. Just to help out the guild. World Event's really straightforward this week. Just don't take Hobgoblin. We also have quite a few good options for it, so pretty nice. And here's that warning menu. Gotta love it. Okay, let's go for extra damage. And be good to go. Oh, apparently we got more mail. Wait, how did we get 2? Wait, what was the second mail for? Oh, duh, the other code. Yeah, the code I literally just handed out. Whoops. Gosh, the short-term memory is strong. Literally the code I handed out like seconds ago. Yep, no problem, everyone. So, hello, Anthony. Oh, hello, Anthony. Oh, there's 2 Anthonys. Interesting. I remember... Oh, gosh. Which one was it? We used to have 3 of the same name at one point in our chat. And it always confused me like crazy. And the funny thing is, I don't even remember what it is. Because I believe all 3 of them don't really watch us much anymore. But there was a time, like around 5 years ago, when we had 3 people with pretty much the exact same name watching us. And it was so confusing. Like, they all had a different icon, so you could tell that way. But otherwise, their name was pretty much the same. Goldfish memory. It's mostly my train of thought just going all over the place. Because I do have good memory for quite a few things. It's more so my focus that just keeps shifting. Not even in like a, I don't know, I'm not sure how to describe it. I'm pretty sure there's like a mental thing for it. Proper term. So we'll take that down. But it's not even in like a short attention span kind of way. It's more so just in a constantly thinking in too many different directions kind of way. Though it works really good for multitasking. If nothing else. I will take... Oh, wait. I don't need brown. I mean, I don't need green. Luckily, enchant got us covered. Should be able to get one more Valraven in there. Hey, good old hiking Iron Gut. I wonder if we're ever going to get another Iron Gut alternative. Oh, no, you got Silence. For some short amount of time, they were, like, kind of experimenting with it, and then didn't go all the way. Because most of the Iron Gut alternatives were just weaker Iron Guts. Curious if they're ever going to make one that's actually stronger than him. It's kind of funny, because when Delves first came out, the very first thing that came out that was really good at insta-killing delves was Megavore. But then the Megavore meta like completely shifted as soon as Iron Gut came out a couple weeks later. What's actually really funny too is there was like some kind of copyright issue with one of the designs they had. And they actually had to move Iron Gut 1 month earlier. So we actually got him a whole month earlier to be able to use for delves, which was really, really nice. Probably one of the other reasons why he's used so much for delves, other than him just being so good, was he was added very early in the life cycle of delves. So a lot of people got really used to using him. Because basically, delves came out 3.0. Then Megavore came out the very next month, which I believe was September, because it was like an August patch. And then in December, we already had Iron Gut come into the game. I can't remember what year it was, but I do know it came in that order. I want to say 2017, 2018. But the patch was in August for delves, then the Megavore was in September, and then we got the Iron Gut all the way in December then, even though it was supposed to be January. So it was never even supposed to release that year. I believe Leprechaun came in around that time too, which was absolutely insane. Because I don't even remember a time before Leprechaun these days. Leprechaun is just so meta, and has been every single day since its existence. There's just no team that doesn't benefit from it. Like, there are a few that, like, obviously wouldn't want to use, otherwise it'd literally be on every team. However, on almost every team, it would benefit from having Leprechaun compared to not having Leprechaun. Unless the team already just has such competent mana accumulators that it doesn't really end up mattering. Oh. I was like, wait, why don't I have all the rewards? I forgot, this is the guild-wide event. I was like, wait, why are we too short? Loco's killing it. Isabel must be really sick. She's in 4th place right now. She must be ultra sick. She's always in, like, the top 2. Oh no, Zala's slacking. She'll get around to it at some point. Anyways. Alright, good to go in World Event. So, let's go run some Explore 12. Something I feel like I have, like, barely ever done in recent time. But, we'll just run it with standard Zolgoth. Oh, no. I need to change this team to Slayer version. I'm so used to using the other one just because it's a little bit tankier for the daily dungeons. Because this actually kills at quite a bit of a slower rate. If we keep hitting damage pokes like that, it might not actually matter that slower. We'll still be within damage range. That's kind of funny. We kept getting damage procs on it, so we didn't actually need the higher damage that time. Though normally you will, especially if you want multi one-shots. We're Slayer. So the way that battle worked out, we actually, oddly enough, didn't need it. I probably haven't seen much Explore 12 since it just kind of started recently. It's very much a standard Zolgoth, just in a different location. And I do 20% chasing. You generally just want to camp one location that's really good for whatever team you're using. Especially if you get the 10% bonus for the kingdom. Because you can actually get 10% more shards for any kingdom of your choice once you get it to 16. And you normally want to do this on whatever one you plan to farm the most. And just kind of sit there. However, if you finally get all of them to level 16, which is a while. It's definitely not something that happens quickly. But once you eventually do, you can go back to 20% chasing. You can technically do that at any point. But the difference of only 10% from just camping one location isn't really worth it. But the difference of 20% when, you know, everything's at 30% is actually worth it. So once we clear out Golvania, we'll go to wherever our next 20% bonus is. We'll just keep hopping around. Yeah, I haven't been doing much Explore 12. Main reason being, orbs are better. Ever since they added the better orbs, I've barely even touched Explore. But that's mostly because of how ridiculously strong Orbs of Glory are. Like, yes, you still need these medals. Especially the initial stats for these stats. And also just more of them so you can upgrade all the lower rarity stuff. Since the Glory Orbs mostly only apply to Mythics and to some degree Legends once you finish all the Mythics. Which is kind of a weird thing to say. Because there is actually a possibility in the current state of the game with how orbs are structured. Or how medals are structured, plus orbs. That you could theoretically max every single Mythic before you max every Legend now. Which is kind of strange. Because before it would always been the other way around. I'll catch you later, Clip Bomb. Thanks for stopping by. Still lurking in the shadows. Let's see if we can get a Mimic. Update our Mimic counter. Alright, where's the next 20%? No, not Cinnamorosh. Shantang, sure. Luckily, most of them are still at 12. Do you remember playing Hyrule Age of Calamity? Yes, it's been a while. Also, you know what game I still need to play, despite having played that game? I still have not played Breath of the Wild, and I need to before Tears of the Kingdom. Did Tears of the Kingdom ever get official date yet? Tears of the Kingdom... Yeah, that. Release date. Go. Release date. Do you have one yet? May 12th. Before May 12th, I need to play Breath of the Wild. Sometime between now and then, we need to go play Breath of the Wild. Because that's pretty much Game of the Year this year. It might be the first time we ever play Game of the Year on the year it actually launched. Because that's it. It's right there. Unless they like rush it out, and it's like horrible, like it's Game of the Year. It's gonna be like what Elden Ring did last year, except this one's a little bit later. But it's just gonna come in like somewhat early in the year. People will forget about it, and then it'll just absolutely get Game of the Year 100%. No contest. Let's see. We'll take that one over. And I think Nintendo kind of knows that too. That they have to make it good. They need as much as they can possibly put into that. Because there's definitely some releases they do that they're obviously, they're definitely slacking compared to others. Particularly a lot of Mario releases recently. But that is like the series for them now, as far as quality. Yeah, we'll need to play Breath of the Wild maybe next month sometime. Or in April. Assumably Breath of the Wild would probably take us like, what, 30 hours? 50? I guess it depends how much you want to go for completion. I will not be 100%ing Breath of the Wild. I can 100% confirm that right now. The second Ganon is dead, we're done. I might revisit the game at some point later. But we're pretty much just playing to basic completion. I'm not going to be rushing that completion, obviously, but... once Ganon is dead, we're done with that game for a while. Until Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I never played Elden Ring. I haven't really played, like, any of the Dark Souls games. Am I going to do all side quests at least? We'll see. Depends what we're talking about, all side quests. Because I know how many Korok seeds there are. And if any side quest is even remotely like that. Which I don't know the exact number, but I want to say it's almost 1,000. Which I don't think I've ever played a single game that has that many random collectibles of a single thing. It somewhat seems scary with the most recent Pokemon game, because that one technically has 999. However, every time you find one, they give you a random amount. And that can sometimes be high if you get lucky. So you don't actually have to find 999 of them. Also, they respawn in the same locations in that game. So you can just keep farming the same few rather than having to find each individual unique one. Also, why am I set to the wrong thing? There we go. Oh, Drifting Sands got it again. Let's go there. There's a non-zero chance you'll play it soon, TM? Pretty much. Yeah, I'm probably going to play Breath of the Wild next month. Also, we'll be one of a few people who have actually played it chronologically. Because even though it took place on a different timeline, technically Age of Calamity happened prior to Breath of the Wild. Though they are on completely separate timelines, so theoretically, the events that occurred in Age of Calamity did not actually occur in Breath of the Wild. As is another timeline split in their overly convoluted timeline. Though my favorite game in the series was pretty much the game that did the initial timeline split. Because it was started with... the very first split with the entire series pretty much was Ocarina of Time. Still to this day, probably one of the best, one of the better Zelda games ever released. Obviously, these days, it's like the Breath of the Wild series. But back then, that game was pretty revolutionary. It was really good. People still speedrun it, too. Well, in all fairness, people still speedrun like almost everything. You only need 10 more pets to max them all? Nice. You should be able to get that pretty soon. You'll have that by, like, the next Vault event. Like, after next month, you'll have them all. Because we're probably having 2 Vault events next month. This is one of the first few times we've ever had 2 Vault events in a month. I think it's only ever happened 2 other times, oddly enough. One was December of 2 years ago, and the other one was... maybe that was the only time. I know December 2 years ago. Not last year's December, because that was like a few months ago. But the year before then, we had 2 Vault events in a single month. And March, as in next month, might be the second or third time that ever happens, where we will get 2 Vault events in a single month. Because we know for sure we're getting a Vault event on March 3rd, that weekend. And there's a good chance within a few weeks after that, which would be before the end of March, we would get another one. Again, one of the only few times we've gotten a double. I think the only other time that may have happened was when they did Nomapaloozas. I think they did an extra one right after the patch of Nomapalooza, and then they still had another one soon after. I don't think that was technically in the same month, though. Like, it was within a month of period of time, but not in the exact same month. If that makes sense. Like, it was within a 30-day time period of each other, but not the same month specifically by name. So yeah, this would technically be the 3rd time, or the 2nd time that it happens within the exact same month. Or the 3rd time it happens within the same 30-day period. April of last year might have had 2? Did it? I don't recall. It might have. Also, we've gotten such average tokens. I really wish they would buff this even more. Like, last year's patch around this time, the goal of it was basically to do that. And it didn't do that. I feel like a lot of patches in Gems of War do that. Like, they try to rework something, and they just don't do it quite enough. The only exception to that was, like, well, there are some exceptions. Like, for example, the ore buff we got last December, amazing. The other month. One other one was obviously Nomapalooza. If anything, they buffed it too much, and they had to tone it back like a billion times. But, there was that one, which was pretty good. But overall, I don't know. Oh, April 1st and 29th? Okay. So yeah, it was 2 within the month. But I feel like most times when they do a patch, it's just not enough of a change. Like when they redid Underworlds, yeah, when they gosh, I cannot speak. When they redid Underworlds, that was obviously, like, not the greatest because they didn't add any more unique loot or anything. No one barely ever does deep delves. Like, there's some meta to it if you don't want to spend as much time on delving per day, but you still want to do your daily delves. You could just do 1 standard delve and a deep delve, and you can kind of do it that way. And, of course, the potion effects and everything were good, but it didn't really fix the loot issue or the fact that level 500 delves are still pointless. One of them that probably missed the mark the most was the Arena rework. Arena was reworked, and no one cares. Arena Weekend is probably the most unplayed event in the entire game. And we have one this weekend, by the way. But, that was a really good example of they didn't do enough to change it when they did. Because that rework was pretty recent. That's like 2 years ago. Obviously, that's not like super recent, but for Gems of War time, that, you know, that's kind of recent. Like, just a couple years ago, they reworked Arena, and it did nothing. If anything, I feel like it made people play Arena less, somehow. But maybe not. But, I don't think it really changed. Like, people who weren't playing Arena didn't really start playing Arena. There wasn't much of an incentive to. And one of the ways that they added a way to give more loot, you have to spend gems to even claim it. Which is probably the weirdest part. Like, you get those 3 daily offers, and yes, there's some pretty good things on there, like Imperial Deeds, pet copies, stuff like that. But most of it is really bad, and not worth spending gems on. Some of them are such bad loot that even if you got them for free, you'd be disappointed, like some of the jewel drops, or, you know, some of the jewel bundles and stuff. They're just such a small amount, and to pay that many gems for it just is not worth it. Like, you just buy the 50 gem thingy from the dungeon, and it gives more in a lot of those cases. Also, how are we getting comboed so hard? I haven't even done a turn yet. Oh! Does he have double Empower Skull? This is the kingdom that has that. Oh, that is so annoying. Is this the final battle? I sure hope not. There's no mythic there, right? But yeah, he has double... I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's kind of scary. He has double Empower. There's actually 3 of them currently in the game. 2 of them reside in Groshnok. And they're kind of strong. I don't feel like I use them too often because they work in a really weird type of team. It's obviously very skull-based. But yeah, you can see both of them in the same fight. That's kind of scary. You could easily get wiped to double Empower in Explore 12. Even outside of Explore 12, in just PvP, you can get wiped by it too. Especially if they're running Web Spinner Lead or something similar. You don't have an Entangle on them. Why do you keep running Arena instead of... Well, I haven't been running Arena lately. I haven't ran an Arena event in months. Like, I don't think we've done an Arena event since March of last year. Or at least not to, like, a super high degree. Like, sometimes I play it just for fun because, like, we don't have anything else going on the weekend, so it's like, might as well. Maybe something to do Gems of War related. But most of the times I just kind of skip it. I guess the most recent time I did technically do it, so at least to some degree. Oh, why do they? Oh, I misread that. Why do they keep running Arena instead of... I'm not sure why they just don't sub it out for something else. Honestly, I don't think anyone would care if our Arena event was permanently replaced with other events. I think the weirdest thing about Arena event is one unique thing that they added with Arena event that they don't ever really do. Oh, our first Mimic of the stream. And maybe our only. But they added a mechanic when they did Arena work about 2 years ago, where they would do special Arena events that would have like a special troop that gets claimed onto your team. So for example, let's say for Valentine's Day, you would automatically have Imp of Love on your team, and then you draft the other 3. They completely scrapped that. I guess there was like a coding issue or something. But one of the bigger features, or one of the few bigger features that like Arena got updated for, they never even really utilized. They did it like 3 times and then never did it again. One other interesting scrapped feature, because that's pretty much a scrapped feature at this point, but one other one was World Event having affixes. So, of course, prefixes are basically traits. They can be stunned. They're the things that are basically traits or other things. For example, if we have a Cleanse Medal on, that's basically... Oh, wait. Sorry. I said it the wrong way again. Yeah, it was either prefixes or affixes. I think they just called them that. But, yeah, affixes are the ones that are basically like traits. Prefixes were like a thing that was kind of scrapped. And basically what it did is it gave enemies an automatic ability on cast that could not be stunned. This only happened for one world event, the very first world event, and it was actually completely scrapped. There is nothing in the entire game that utilizes this, with the exception being weapons. Weapons have a ton of them, because this is the whole premise of weapons. Every single one of these is one of those. Cleanse all allies and rage. But basically, they are things that cannot be stunned off. They apply when you cast. They are not specifically traits, so being stun cursed does not disable them. There used to be enemies, like actual enemies, that had this effect. It only applied to the first ever world event, and we have never seen it since. The only other instance where they exist is on weapons. But we can also see the inverse. The inverse does still exist, like when they gain Submerge on cast, but that's something different in the Underworld. But that's actually a trait that can be stunned. The easiest way to see one is like Medal of Orpheus. So if we have like a Medal of Orpheus on, you can actually see that we have this extra perk. Here is another way to see a lot of them because, you know, you have like a whole screen of them. But these are actually all stunnable. So if we go to, if we click on here, everything here is stunnable. So like active metals down here, like that 10% is stunnable. This happens at start, so it's not stunnable. But like things like this still exist in the Underworld. But there used to be an affix version that applies only when you cast. And those used to not be stunnable, and still aren't. But there's no troop that has them anymore. Or no enemy that has them anymore. It was only applied to World Event for the very first World Event ever, and then never again. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but anyways. So where were we? Let's go run, did I update my Mimic number? I don't think I did. Let's go run one more faction down. I mean, not faction, I mean, you know what I mean. Explorer. Let me go get my Mimic counter up. You know, let's just leave that number up. I feel like we're going to have a higher chance of getting a Mimic than Orb, because we literally have a 0% chance of getting an Orb right now. So, that one's not even a non-zero, it's just a 0. Oh, wait, this is on Explore 1. Come on, give me one that's, like, ready to go. Suncrest. Hey, it's even Suncrest week this week. Bring it back to 12. Let's go run through Suncrest. Oh, sorry, it's not Suncrest. That was the other week. This is a Divinian Fields week. My bad. Thinking of last week. But I'm curious what our total Mimic number is going to be. I might stop keeping track of it, because eventually we're going to keep track of so many things. But at the 1 year mark, I'm kind of curious to see what our Mimic number will be. Maybe we'll even cover a video on it around that time. Because we're almost at the 1 year anniversary of Mimics. They're not a particularly good feature, but they are a feature. They are indeed a feature. Not one of the better ones, not one of the worst ones either. It just kind of exists. Though it probably feels like one of the worst ones if you try grinding for it and go super dry on it. Because, yeah, you do need one for an achievement. The Horde Mimic Mythic. We have 2 of them. Some people have 4. It's actually the hardest team in the entire game to have as well, 4 Horde Mimics. Technically, one that is slightly harder is like 3 Horde Mimics with Diamantia. I would still say 4 Horde Mimics is still harder. There are 2 luck-based ones, but you can get 4 Diamantias really easily once you have one. This is the first one that's hard to get. Because once you have one, you have infinite of them pretty easily. Oh, don't use 4 times barrier. It's gonna make this a lot more annoying. Luckily, they have patched as of 3 to 4 years ago, and made it so insta-kills all hit through barrier. Before it was only Zolgoth and a few handful of others, but they actually made it consistent across every single thing several years ago. So now you never have to worry about guessing like, oh, does this troop specifically hit through barrier? And the answer is yes, they all do now. Yeah, the Mimic Troop's still really hard to get. I still think it's one of the most unachieved things in the game, too. If I go to achievements, or at least on Steam, I think it's like in top 3 most unachieved. I'm actually surprised Dragonite didn't move up more. I probably will after next Vault event. It's actually currently 4th most unachieved, though in all fairness, it is in a 4-way tie for 0.5%. So it is a 4-way tie of defeat 10 Dragonite Gnomes, which I'm surprised that one's still so low. Though it's going to go way up after the next Vault event. But there's that. Earn 20,000 miles in a journey event, which requires a couple thousand gems, so most people don't want to invest that probably, just for an achievement. Though some people later in the game might. Obviously, earlier on in the game, this one's not really worth going for. Unlock a power... I'm surprised this one isn't higher. All you need for this, I believe, is a level 200 or a level 225 faction. I can't remember. But whatever you get the first power potion at, which I think is 200. So that's actually not too hard to do. I'm surprised that one's not higher. And then, of course, Horde Mimic. This one, that makes sense. I'm actually surprised this is not the most unachieved one. Like, that is super hard. Like, getting a Horde Mimic. Because you have to go through, like, 3 layers of luck to get a Horde Mimic. To my understanding, it's like about a 10% chance to get a Horde Mimic per chest you get for Explore. And Explore 12, you get them the quickest. Though you can get them from any difficulty. But you have to get a 10% chance after completing out that chest. Then there's a 10% chance it's going to be a 5 times chest. And then in that 5 times chest, there's like a 10% chance you will get the Horde Mimic. I'm not sure if that's the exact data mined numbers, but based on our numbers, that's pretty much where we're at. So it would make sense if it's somewhere around there. So if those are the numbers, we are a little bit on the lucky side for finding the 5 times. Because by our point, we should only have like 17 or 16 5 times. But we actually have 24. Assuming it is a 10%, 10%, 10%. Let's do one last chest. One that's less disappointing than that. Come on, non-disappointing chest. Big struggle of Explore 12. How many must you go through to get a even remotely okay drop? Say so, Bill, before he explodes. Hello, Bill. Welcome. Hope all's been well. Alright, this will be the last set we go for now. Though I might start running a little bit of Explore 12 this week, because arena event's not really that worth doing. So we might just do some Explore 12, we'll see. Better open some Vault Keys. I haven't actually opened a single Vault Key since the last Vault event. And obviously we got a good handful of them. Not as many as we initially targeted, but, you know, still a good handful. We'll definitely need to make the grind for that. Yeah, we've kind of been neglecting Explore 12. Ever since those orbs came out, there's definitely been less of an incentive to run Explore 12. But, you know, you still need to upgrade everything. I wish there was more alternatives, and I'm glad that they added the orbs as an alternative. Because I don't mind if we never have to play Explore 12 again. In place of other content. Because we've played so much Explore 12 this year. Ever since Mimics came out. Because I think I've played more Explore 12 since Mimics came out a year ago than I did when they initially released. Like when they made the Explore 12 rework and added those tokens, I actually played more this last year Explore 12 than probably the rest of the time combined. Mostly due to Horde Mimics. And mostly to the initial grind of trying to get a Horde Mimic. Gosh, is it so annoying to get. As any of you would know from if you've ever tried trying to get it. Like, some people have been trying to get it for a whole year and haven't gotten it yet. We just like power grinded it all up front and got it in like a few months. And then another one a little bit later. Just out of luck. We were like non-stop Explore 12 when it initially came out. So I'm a little burnt out on Explore 12 this year. Mostly due to Horde Mimics. And then after the Orb update, it just didn't seem worth it. Just because those orbs are just so strong. I'm actually surprised they made them so strong. That's like one of those features where like you would joke about them adding it because they're never going to add it, and then they added it. Like both pet orbs, like the foraging ones made sense because we needed something to fix it. Oh gosh, we still got a bad chest. We'll still have to end it there. But, hey, redeem code. But, like, Forging Orb to upgrade those Doom things, like, that makes sense that they were eventually going to add something like that because we need something to fix that, and that does fix it, so that's good. But I was never expecting them to add a Glory Orb or the Pet Orb. Those are two insanely, ridiculously good things that save so much time and gems. Well, in the case of Pet 1's gems, in the case of the other one, time. But, yeah, those were two things I never thought they would add. But, yeah, they eventually got around to it. But anyways, guys, we're going to leave it here for now. We will be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow. We will have a midday stream going through pretty much all day tomorrow. We're going to be playing old school RuneScape. For any of you who have any nostalgia towards that game or just want to watch an MMO. We're going to be doing our first day of membership for that game. I ended up buying a year worth. Oh, actually, I haven't even initialized it yet. I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. Yeah, we're going to have that account to do for a year. Might still do it after, but after that point, we can get it for free. Because there's a way to earn membership through the game itself without having to pay any money. But we will pay up front just to kind of get the account going. Just so we don't have to worry about it during our playthrough. Because otherwise you have to waste so much time just making resources within the game so you can pay for more membership. But you can just pay up front. It'll be good to go. But yeah, we'll be doing that tomorrow, first day of membership. It opens up what we could do by a lot. To such a degree, I'm not even fully sure what we're going to do. Because, gosh, there's so many things you can do in that game once you initially unlock it. It's kind of overwhelming, especially for probably a newer player. I know, like, generally what I kind of want to target. But it definitely unlocks a lot of content. Particularly like 2.5 decades worth of game content. So they've been working on the game for a while. So a lot of stuff to be had. But anyways, guys, we'll be doing that tomorrow. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day today. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.